Hello and welcome to the Muffin Express Games Dev Diary. I am Nathan Hitchcock, and today's topic is live code editing with DLLs. And I use air quotes because we're not technically really live code editing. The code isn't like being updated as we type it, but you have to recompile a DLL, but then it's automatically linked back in, and you don't have to recompile your entire project. So, uh, basically, the way we DLL is we have this. We have all of these DLL systems. Uh, we have AI, audio, graphics, all the systems you would normally have in a game, and each of these is compiled into a DLL. So they all have to be encapsulated. And if you look at our Solution Explorer, we basically expose only three functions in every DLL. A load assets, an on start, update, on exit, and unload. Right now they just print stuff, but eventually the idea is that we'll have load assets, load all the stuff from files. On start will sync your DLL with the current state of the program. Update does the stuff that needs to be done every frame. On exit does the stuff that would save handles or would take the handles and like free them depending on the situation. Unload assets basically returns all of the stuff we loaded from load assets into dust. And so in our update function, we have the updating of the DLL, but we also have this extra little bit, which is check for modification. And this file basically just checks to see if you have a newer version of the DLL that it needs, and if it does exist, then it will free the DLL it's currently using, and then grab the new DLL and then call the sync on start function on the new DLL. If you look at the way we have our debug structure or debug folder structured, this is the folder where all of our execution is run from, where all of our stuff is compiled to, and basically we have this one folder, the shadow folder, and the idea is that we copy all of our DLLs from this debug folder into this shadow folder. So for instance, if I take one of these DLLs, like physics, and I build succeeded. Cool. So in our debug folder now we have this physics DLL. So then, after we build all of our projects, all of our DLLs and our bootstrapper, I'll do that real quick. What happens is all the DLLs are created and generated. Actually, I'm gonna build it externally. So all of our DLLs are generated and then are immediately copied into the shadow folder and deleted from this directory. And this actually has a few problems with it. When you delete the DLL immediately after you copy it, the bootstrap, since it's running currently, it will basically, as soon as the DLL is finalized and the file handle is closed, it will copy it and delete it into the shadow folder, which means that some other things like the exports file can't actually read the DLL because it's immediately deleted. So this leads to a couple of linker errors that happen, but I'm not really worried about it since we don't actually use the exports, and it doesn't seem like we would share them with anybody, so not a big deal to me at least. So anyways, back here we have our engine running, and it's updating all the stuff, graphics, physics, networking, all that stuff. It doesn't actually do anything yet, just typing it, or just printing to the screen again. But if we wanted to change something, we could go to the physics library. Well, physics is kind of my testing grounds where I go to test all my stuff, like how data is affected by swapping DLLs, which I was kind of curious about at first. So basically, we have all of this stuff in our physics DLL, and if we want to change it, we can just add code or move code or edit code, what have you, and save it, and then we have to rebuild the DLL that we're working in. And what happens is it immediately updates. Oops, wrong window. And now we no longer have all that junk after our physics update. But again, here's the linker file that says you can't open the DLL, and it links it to the export file. Not a big deal to me. It might be something huge that I'm missing, but I haven't seen any impact of this yet. So if anybody guys know of any super important thing the exports file is used for besides just sharing what your DLL exports, which we already do some other way, then I'm not really worried about it. So okay, so that's basically how our DLL engine works. If you guys have any questions or comments, or if I'm doing something terribly, terribly wrong and you know of it and you'd like to help out and tell me, I would appreciate it. Alright, this has been Muffin Express Games. Stay baked.